Good morning and welcome to year number 4 of Pitt to the Point. I'm Risa Campbell.
And I'm Morgan Wilfong. Pitt to the Point is your weekly 1-hour news and magazine program that airs live from the state-of-the-art Pitt studios.
Pitt to the Point covers everything from the University of Pittsburgh to the City of Pittsburgh, as well as national and international events, news, people, and stories.
We're back with your favorite segments such as Alumni Spotlight and Clubbing at Pitt, which showcases one of our amazing student-run clubs here.
We'll feature stories from our incredible University of Pittsburgh regional campuses, and Crossing Over at Pitt is back to show you how different departments at Pitt collaborate on the most innovative teaching in the country.
We have some new segments too. MVP, Most Valuable Professor features, and you'll love our Pitt in the Wild features.
And we'll be joined live by our affiliate college and high school partners and their student anchors, who will tell you what's going on in their schools and their communities. Now, we're statewide from Pittsburgh to Lancaster to Philadelphia.
And of course, we'll continue to bring you the most up-to-date news from the world of politics, sports, medicine, and entertainment in the City of Pittsburgh and at the University of Pittsburgh.
Pope Francis remains in critical condition as he receives treatment for double pneumonia and a mild renal insufficiency.
Francis currently remains on oxygen therapy, and the case is described as very serious, even while his red blood count has stabilized.
This past Monday, roughly 4,000 people gathered in St. Peter's Square to pray and hope for Francis's recovery and gratitude for all of his efforts.
Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the Vatican's number 2, led prayers for 45 minutes and issued a more upbeat health bulletin than in recent days.
Many have begun to wonder what the process would be if Pope Francis were to step down on health grounds. The system, which has remained unchanged for the last 800 years, is known as the Papal Conclave.
In Vatican City's Sistine Chapel, 138 cardinals younger than 80 will vote until one candidate secures a 2/3 majority.
79% of voting-age cardinals come from areas that are historically underrepresented in Vatican leadership. For the first time, many cardinals will enter the conclave with little familiarity with one another, making pre-conclave meetings critical.
The nominations for the 2025 Oscars were announced on February 20th, after being delayed twice because of the wildfires in Los Angeles.
Emilia Perez had the most nominations, totaling to 13, which is only one nomination away from tying for the record number of total nominations.
Oscar history was also made when Carla Sofia Gascon was nominated for an Oscar, as she is the first transgender woman to be nominated within any acting category.
The Oscars were supposed to take place in January, however, they have now been rescheduled to be on March 2nd at the Dolby Theater in Hollywood.
The Pittsburgh Film Office annual fundraising gala will be held on Saturday, March 1st this year.
For more on this fundraiser, our entertainment reporter Natalie Silverman is joined with Dawn Keezer, the director of the Pittsburgh Film Office. Natalie?
Thanks, guys. The Pittsburgh Film Office is gearing up for its annual Lights, Glamour, Action fundraising event. Like Morgan said, the event will take place tomorrow at the historic Pennsylvania downtown. All proceeds from the event go towards the Pittsburgh Film Office's mission to make Southwestern PA a premier film destination for projects all across the board. And today, we are lucky enough to be joined by the director at the Pittsburgh Film Office herself, the fabulous Dawn Keezer. Hey Dawn, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you? Good morning.
Good morning. So I just wanted to ask, Lights, Glamour, Action is known for its red carpet event, its entertainment. So what can people expect from this year's
returns tonight? And who better to tell us about all the exciting things?
The party's going to be great. As you can see, that's last year's red carpet arrivals. I expect them to be even more over the top this year. Look, we've done this party. This will be the 25th time we've done this party. So we just keep getting bigger and better every year. There's going to be some fun on-camera opportunities for people. We have some very special VIP guests that I can't name, but it'll be pretty excited to see them live and in person. And we've got these amazing dancers coming from the Fred Astaire Studios out of Cranberry. Turns out they're number 2 in the world for Latin dance. And they're going to be dancing at our party and teaching other people, a few moves too. So it's going to be a good time.
And Lights, Glamour, Action is known for a lot of its sponsors that it has, and one of them is Create PA, which you helped to create, fittingly enough. Could you just explain to us what that is and how it promotes and helps Lights Glamour Action?
Create PA is our workforce training program that the Film Office created a few years back, but now it's really hit its stride. Today, actually, I'm attending the graduation of our camera trainees. What you're seeing on screen right now is our wardrobe trainees. We've done hair, we've done makeup, we've done grip, and what we've done electric. We have over 125 graduates now in the program, and these people are being trained with our professional union members to learn how to work backstage and have a career and a family sustaining job in this industry, backstage, back behind, the camera and everything else. It's exciting because these jobs are a direct pathway into union membership, and it's working. They're going to get work. And right now we have Mayor of Kingstown season 4 shooting in southwestern PA. First time we've gotten to a season 4 ever, so we're pretty excited about that. There's additional work that's talking about coming to Pittsburgh this year, so we're hoping 25 is going to be busy, and we're going to kick off all that celebration on Saturday. But Create PA graduates will be in attendance, as will your amazing broadcast, because you guys are going to come and help us out on the red carpet and really make it look amazing. So we're excited to have you there. So thank you for that. But yeah, that's what Create PA is. And there's opportunities. We list them all the time. There'll be future trainings later on this year. We're doing accounting right now, but we have a bunch of other ones coming up too.
Yeah, awesome. And Create PA also focuses a lot on diversity and inclusion. Can you explain why that's so important for the region's creative industries?
Well, back in 2019, when we created the program, what we realized is we haven't done a great job making sure the people who work behind the camera look like the people who live here and live in front of the camera, right? We want this industry to be more representative of the inhabitants, if you will, of southwestern PA. And look, we're a diverse community, and we have all kinds of people from all kinds of walks of life that have an interest in this industry. There's not a real pathway to success in the film industry. You don't go to school, go to law school, and poof, you're a lawyer. That's how lawyers work. It doesn't work that way for the film industry. Most people start as production assistants. Steven Spielberg brought it up on the Golden Globes 2 years ago. He started as a PA. So what Create PA does is create an opportunity for people to learn and get a skill that makes them useful on set. And then by focusing on making sure we're reaching out and being far more inclusive in who we're including in this, it's giving people, oh, that's a career. Oh, I can go do that in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So that's the part I'm most proud of. I mean, we've really reached a ton of different communities, and the plan is to expand it out of Allegheny County and reach out into the entire district that we represent, which is all 10 counties. So it's working, but that's the goal, is to get it. Everybody can work in the movie industry. You don't have to have some super specific thing. You can learn this. You can have a life with this. You can have a family sustaining career with this. It's important.
Yeah, absolutely. And before, you also mentioned Mayor of Kingstown and how that films here in, Pittsburgh. And that's so exciting that you got the 4th season. What was that like in that initial season, and bringing the Mayor of Kingstown and Jeremy Renner, a huge A-lister, to southwestern PA?
Look, we've had a relationship with 101 Studios for quite some time. The reason they're here is that prison that you just showed on screen, SCI Pittsburgh. It's a closed prison. And the things people forget about is things that we have here in southwestern Pennsylvania. We drive by them every day, but they're attractive to our film industry because they don't have them everywhere. That prison was built in the late 1800s. It has 10-foot walls. I mean, the place is just amazing. So that was the drawing card. And look, we're excited every time they greenlight the next season. We're already talking about season 5, and we're very hopeful they're coming back for 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you listen to Hugh Dillon, he'll say we're going to do 10. So we're really excited about that. And we keep getting to season 3s, and then the show goes away. So we're psyched to be at season 4, and I'm hopefully not jinxing them about season 5 right now. But it's always excited to bring this work here. They have over 800 people that work on Mayor of Kingstown, drawing a paycheck every single day for 6 months. I mean, that's a huge win in our industry. TV series are where it's at, right? Because it's a long-term piece of employment. Features are a lot of fun. They spend a lot of money in a very short period of time. But a television series creates internal workforce training opportunities, because if you've worked on season 1, you're most likely still working on season 3, but you've been promoted, and then we're able to bring in some other people as well. So it's what our goal was, and it's nice to see it happen.
Well, thank you so much for being on here with us today, Dawn.
Well, thanks, and I'll see you guys on Saturday night, and we're going to have a great time, and we appreciate you all as always.
Thanks, Dawn.
Thank you.
Like I want to say, Pittsburgh will always have a place in Hollywood. With Pitt to the Point, I've been your entertainment reporter, Natalie Silverman. Morgan, Risa, back to you guys.
Thanks, Natalie. The First National Bank has new developments in Pittsburgh, and city council meetings have sparked curiosity among council leaders.
And we'll bring you the latest updates on Russia and Ukraine's peace proposal. All that and more when we return on Pitt to the Point.
You have to throw caution to the wind. Know you're capable.
There's possible.
The University of Pittsburgh.
And then there's our kind of possible. The kind that changes the face of medicine, tech, and learning.
It might have been called a miracle.
Because when we say it's possible at Pitt, we mean it. And the proof is in the people. Like Rachel Fairbanks, our top of the class and top of the game athlete of the year, who's serving nothing but excellence. Fulbrights, we're full of them. From BB to Jasmine to the next 250, including 10 in the past year alone.
It's really part of that bolstering of our global reputation.
Possible lives inside everyone at Pitt, from every corner of every campus. Like the McGowan Institute, where they are rethinking, researching, and completely revolutionizing how the body heals through a novel approach to regenerative medicine. All led by visionaries like Dr. Chandan Sen.
You can generate tissue types without using stem cells. And now we know that is possible. That will completely change the paradigm of healthcare.
Our kind of possible paves the way through selfless action and giving.
We all come together with a shared goal of giving today to transform tomorrow.
Ever see 11,000 Proud fuel this much opportunity in 24 hours? We have, and you're about to see it too. In the progress all around you, as our people continue to bring our vision and our promise to life in newer, bigger, and bolder ways. It's possible at Pitt.
There is no patent. Could you patent the sun?
Welcome to the Pitt News, the University of Pittsburgh's daily student newspaper. Through the collaboration of our editorial, marketing, and sales departments, we consistently produce award-winning content and provide our students with invaluable professional experience. The success of the Pitt News comes from our students, and we are proud of the legacy we have created for over 100 years.
Thanks for tuning back in to Pitt to the Point. Happened to watch a story today that piques your curiosity? Want to find out more about what's going on in Pittsburgh? Visit our website.
That's right. If you want to find out more about the world of politics, medicine, business, technology, and more, log on to pittothepoint.com. Not only can you see clips from today's show, but you can also read about the topics that interest you and more. Check it out at pittothepoint.com. This past Sunday, Ukraine's President Zelensky said that he would give up his position as president if that meant Ukraine would have peace under NATO military alliance.
He said he would trade his position for NATO if that is how they will get their peace.
Zelensky had reported that overnight on Saturday, Russia had launched 267 strike drones into Ukraine. There have been 138 of the drones shot down and 119 that are lost.
There have also been 3 missiles fired, which resulted in 1 death.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron are making visits to Washington in hopes to get Trump to not abandon Ukraine in the peace deal.
Starmer has said that there is not allowed to be any talk about Ukraine without their involvement. Since President Trump's election, America has seen multiple high-profile incidents of civil disobedience at local government functions. Thus, Pittsburgh residents are joining Americans to voice federal frustrations.
This past Tuesday, our political reporter, Dawn Lowenberg, attended a Pittsburgh City Council meeting, gaining a sense as to what citizens are concerned about regarding local policies, community issues, and upcoming initiatives.
Pittsburgh residents who are dissatisfied with federal politics have joined their other Americans in protesting and speaking at local government functions, even if the local politicians wish they would take their comments somewhere else.
And Bill 1560, resolution amending Resolution 19 of 2024.
This is generally what happens in a Pittsburgh City Council meeting. Council members vote on legislation, the mayor may show up to give a speech, and the public voice their concerns.
How can she keep coming in? She's trespassing.
Local concerns, however, weren't the only concerns being shared at this week's public meetings.
This is not a Democrat versus a Republican crisis in our country, locally, state. This is a dictatorship versus democracy.
While things remain civil in Pittsburgh, there have been two recent national incidents of uncivil discourse at local government meetings. One in Kootenai County, Idaho by Teresa Borenpohl, and the other in Huntington Beach, California by former Minnesota Vikings punter Chris Kluwe. Both were voicing their displeasure at Republican-led local governments. Both were carried out of the meetings by their hands and feet. While the incidents were shocking, current Pittsburgh City Councilman Bobby Wilson says it isn't surprising to hear citizens commenting on national issues in local government halls.
It's quite typical for someone to come and talk about just issues that they're seeing. Even if it's not at the local municipal level, they tend to want to express themselves here at the local level.
Councilman Wilson says it's important for constituents to remember what local government can and cannot do, saying it's harder to address people who are fighting a political movement that's beyond local government. Wilson continued by saying a very productive way to make your voice heard is to talk about a piece of legislation that is on the table. That's what public comment is for. For now, discourse or not, the council's main priority is keeping Pittsburgh running and keeping Pittsburgh the best version of itself it possibly can be. Pittsburgh City Council hosts meetings every Tuesday and Wednesday morning that the public can attend and speak at. If you would like to voice your concerns about federal or local government, just remember that the local government is the one who's hosting the meetings. Risa, Morgan?
With so many newsworthy events happening on campus, it can be hard to keep up. That's where our newspaper, the Pitt News, comes in.
Here are the top headlines from our award-winning newspaper. It is Pitt News on Pitt to the Point.
Anna Libik, president of the Ukrainian Club at Pitt and senior pharmacy student, joined demonstrators outside Soldiers and Sailors Monday evening to recognize 3 years since Russia began its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The Ukrainian American Youth of Pittsburgh organized the event, with help from the Ukrainian Culture Club. Demonstrators at Pitt held Ukrainian flags and signs with messages like, "Stop Putin's War." A spring semester 2-act play at Pitt has drawn criticism from Muslim students and theater students after a hijabi student actress felt that she was pushed out of the production for not wanting to misrepresent her faith. Tamana Khan, a Muslim student, told members of the rehearsal team that appearing to drink alcohol on stage as a hijabi would make the play feel poorly researched and be an untruthful and bad representation of her culture. Khan suggested a simple fix that kept the scene almost identical while also properly representing her faith. However, she was informed that there would be no changes to the script. Black professionals have historically remained underrepresented in STEM fields, but the National Society of Black Engineers is working to bridge the gap. With weekly events throughout the school year, Chapter President and Junior Industrial Engineering Major Jordan During says that NSBE gives Black engineering students a valuable sense of community.
Go.
The First National Bank has opened new headquarters in Pittsburgh's Hill District.
This 26-story skyscraper is a state-of-the-art building with the potential to bring nearly $1 billion in economic expansion.
Our business and technology reporter Jacob Goring has more on this development. Jacob.
A new building has risen in the Pittsburgh skyline. It's a, like you said, state-of-the-art skyscraper, and it has major economic impacts on the city of Pittsburgh.
After almost a decade since its conception and half a decade since ground was first broken on the site, the First National Bank has finally opened its brand new state-of-the-art financial center. This 26-story building, which sits where the Civic Arena used to be, is a huge milestone for the Hill District after finally opening following delays due to COVID. I reached out to Jennifer Reel, the Chief Communications Officer of the company, who said that the building was designed to accommodate the dramatic growth of the company under the leadership of CEO Vincent Deli Jr., where in that time they have grown from approximately $6 billion in assets to nearly $49 billion. They, quote, needed the space. The building contains many amenities for its employees, including a variety of food options and an innovative new e-store prototype, which adds ATM, video chat, and account opening capabilities to the program, among other fun and exciting resources. The company also promised to give back to the community by investing in minority and women-owned businesses. FNB claims to have done that and more. In his interview with CBS News, Deli brought up that they had surpassed both the 30% threshold for minority contractor involvement and 15% threshold for female contractor involvement. When I spoke to Reel, one message she sent was from the CEO himself, saying, quote, "Our building is proof that by working together, we can drive growth and realize our region's incredible promise."
On top of the investments, First National Bank has also invested $1 million to the UPMC and Children's Hospital. For Pitt to the Point, I'm business and tech reporter Jacob Goring. Morgan, Risa.
Thanks, Jacob. And we were wondering, with this new skyscraper that big, do you think the Hill District might be the next hotspot in Pittsburgh?
It definitely could be. I think, as we spoke about last week, it did lose a major supermarket. So it's a little bit of a food desert, but getting a $300 million skyscraper in it is definitely going to help build its reputation back up. Morgan, Risa.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jacob. The fabrics and crafts store Joann's has seen 80 years of retail. However, that is now coming to a close.
All of its stores nationwide are set to close after they filed for the second time Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection due to a struggle with sales.
Their original goal was to try to keep around 300 of the stores open, but they were unable to find a buyer and are having to close them all.
There will be going out of business sales at all the stores that are still open, and today is the last day that gift cards will be valid. From the NFL Combine to a Pitt to the Point alum, we are talking all things sports from the University of Pittsburgh to the City of Pittsburgh.
And our favorite part of the show, college and high school, when Pitt to the Point returns.
Part of the University of Pittsburgh is the Cathedral of Learning.
There's a lot you can say about this place. Gritty? Well, we prefer tough. Resilient. Innovative, of course. We are part of the city that built the backbone of America, and now we're making it bend and flex in every which way.
Your time at Pitt has also prepared you for what is possible.
But there's one thing you can't deny. When the world needs something, we find a way to give it to them. Whether that's defeating a crippling disease,
Salt's exhausting labor that paid off,
or fighting off the world's next life-threatening illness, we focus our eyes and attention on the ones who need us most, day in and far out.
The Pittsburgh Panthers are the National Collegiate Champions.
So the question we have to deal with is, can we work and build together even when we're different?
All this comes naturally when you've built a foundation on community in a city that feels more like a family at a time when there's basically no other choice. So yeah, there's a lot you can say about this place. But this is what we know. We know that we've earned more than $1 billion in research funding just this year alone. We know that we're breaking ground for more groundbreaking innovation. We know that if you throw a problem our way, we'll do the work to solve it.
You are here, standing, greeted by the end of one journey and the beginning of the next.
We know that it's possible at Pitt.
Hello, and welcome back to Pitt to the Point.
The show has flown by today, but don't fret, we'll be with you right back next week at the same time, and the week after that, and the week after that.
Pitt to the Point airs every Friday morning at 8 a.m. on the amazing University of Pittsburgh website, the Pitt to the Point website, and YouTube channel. You can also find a taped version of the show on Pittsburgh's CBSN, which is KDKA TV's streaming platform, on Saturday at 8.
And we're excited to say you can also catch a re-airing of today's Pitt to the Point in Philadelphia every Saturday at 12 noon on CBS Philadelphia's streaming platform. And now we welcome today, joining us all the way from Henderson High School, Rourke and Jacob. How are you guys doing? We're great, thank you.
Well, yeah, this is a news package that I made about the Westchester University's women's rugby team. And I just thought I just had a lot of fun while I made this package.
Yeah, I'm just a general sports fan, and I love how this package highlights teamwork.
Rugby is a game that is played with either 15 or 7 players. The Westchester University women's team plays 15s in the fall.
Rugby to me means just working hard as a team and really coming together, getting to play a great sport.
Rugby is my whole life. I came to Westchester because I played rugby and I wanted to play rugby at this level. I started in high school, and it's just, here we are today playing in college.
After winning their first home match, the Westchester women's team celebrates their victory together.
Definitely an adrenaline rush. Even being on the sideline, just being able to celebrate with the team after kind of reflects on all the hard work you've all put in together, and it's really exciting celebrating together.
And obviously when we're playing the game, we're working really hard. We're really trying to get to that try zone, score some tries. So when we win, it's a big celebration, and it's just so great to celebrate that with my teammates.
Oh my God, it's exhilarating. It's the best feeling you could ever have, because all of that work and all of that blood and sweat and tears just really shows how much effort people actually put into it. And it shows no matter how hard you try, there's always something to look forward to at the end of the game. No matter how much you want to give up, you always have to keep going.
Westchester University's team is a nationally ranked D2 team, and they frequently head to state championships. These players are fantastic athletes and friends on and off the field.
Well, yeah, Westchester University's women's rugby team had a very successful fall season, and while that season did end a couple months ago, their spring season is starting soon, so I'm excited to see what they do this season. What are your thoughts, Morgan and Risa?
Thank you so much, Rourke and Jacob. That was amazing. So, Rourke, I know you're part of the women's rugby team at your high school. What does this sport mean to you?
Rugby to me just means sisterhood, empowerment, and just strength. We're all about lifting each other up and just spreading the joy of the sport of rugby. And we're just kind of all about teamwork, hustle. And after every match, we have these socials, and we get to interact with the other team. And we just kind of compliment each other in their gameplay. So rugby is just a really good, tight-knit community.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely amazing. And Jacob, what do you think the transition is like from high school to college sports?
I think it's the way you manage your time. You have a lot more time in between classes, in between high school and college, and it's how you manage that time with sleep and eat. And, yeah.
Thank you so much, Jacob. Yeah, as someone who played sports in high school and now is a college student, I totally see where you're coming from with all of that. So thank you so much, Work and Jacob, for joining us. We hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, you too.
The NFL Combine started yesterday and will continue through March 2nd, and it is even featuring some Pitt players.
Nick Farabaugh, a former Pitt to the Point student, is here with our Pitt sports reporter, Grace Lamberto, to talk more about the Combine. Grace?
The 2025 NFL Draft is quickly approaching, and with that comes the NFL Combine, where college players can show off their skills to NFL coaches. With me today to talk about some of our Panthers in the Combine is former Pitt to the Point student Nick Farabaugh. Nick, how are you?
I'm doing very well, Grace. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for coming. So just to get started, it's no secret that the Panthers struggled a little bit last season. We went on a pretty rough streak towards the end there. So what do you think that our players in this upcoming draft, in this Combine, have to prove, being that they were on a team that struggled a little bit more?
Yeah, they have to prove, just like everybody, that they are athletic, and more importantly, that they are at the top echelon of that athleticism. Guys like Kanate Mumfield and Gavin Bartholomew are in pretty deep classes at the wide receiver and tight end position, and they're going to have to kind of build themselves out of the crop of the day 3 group. But you look at Ben Sauls, he doesn't have anything to prove. He's one of the best kickers in Pitt history, one of the best kickers in the nation, and then Branson Taylor has to prove he's healthy. And so these guys have to prove that, listen, their success isn't all on them. They are their own individual players, and they're ready to take it to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. So out of those 4, Mumfield, Sauls, Bartholomew, Taylor, who do you think has the most to prove, has the most to show, and who's the underdog?
I think Kanate Mumfield has the most to show. You know, there's a lot of NFL teams that really like Kanate Mumfield. He's a really nice route runner. He's got a high character guy. He's stuck around the Pitt program even through tough times when he thought he was getting an ACC championship product. But teams really like him, but they're worried about his testing. How's he going to run? If he runs sub 4.5 and into the 4.4s, I think we're going to see Kanate Mumfield pick somewhere in that 4th or 5th round. And I think he's going to outplay that draft position.
Yeah, absolutely. So what about their play styles do you think they need to focus on to separate themselves from all these other players in this Combine?
Yeah, for a guy like Mumfield, he needs to focus on his route running ability. That's what makes him special. That's his superpower. For Bartholomew, I want to see his athleticism. We know he's athletic. You saw him hurdle over a man in Tennessee 3 years ago. We know that is there. He's going to have to show that. Ben Sauls continue to show his consistency here, kill it in the interviews. And for Branson Taylor is a guy that's very talented, but he's going to have to prove he's healthy. He had a big-time knee injury that forced him to miss the season. He has to prove he's healthy, and if he does, he can be a guy that gets drafted.
Yeah, absolutely. And with all of that, with everything they do have to bring to the table, how do you think they're going to shape up to their competition, and what kind of talents do you think that they have that are going to give them an advantage over everybody else?
Yeah, I look at Bartholomew and we talk about his build. He's built like a Hulk, man. He's like a Greek god. He stands out even amongst the tight ends. He's a guy that is going to stand out in that regard, and the physical nature of his game is really going to make teams fall in love with him. For Mumfield, it's going to be the athleticism paired with his ability to separate. He can fit into offenses, can play outside or inside. There's not many guys that can do it in this class. Some guys are kind of slot specific or outside specific. That'll be his superpower. For Sauls, it's going to be the fact that he's left-footed. He's the first left-footed kicker here since 2008. He's breaking a little bit of barriers here doing that. Just keep showing your consistency. And for Taylor, he's a guy that has to show his weights in check, and more importantly, that he continues to be healthy. He's a guy that's powerful, big, can play left or right tackle. That versatility will really like teams. Teams will like that from him this week.
Yeah, I'm super excited, as I'm sure you are, to watch them play and prove themselves. And looking ahead, how do you think the draft taking place in Pittsburgh in 2026 will affect morale, will change how they're inspired going into the Combine?
I think it's going to affect a lot of things, not just for Pitt players, but obviously Steelers players. Big time economic output for the city of Pittsburgh, potentially up to $200 million from what I've heard. And I think Pitt players, you should be really amped up for that. Guys like Eli Holstein, Desmond Reed, those guys should be really, really excited about that opportunity. And then when you're talking about Steelers too, potentially being in the city, that is extremely important. The Steelers could be looking at their next quarterback. And so a guy like Holstein should be really, really amped up. Man, these guys compete for moments. These guys compete for big-time moments in their careers, and that could be a huge one.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nick, how do you feel about covering this NFL Combine?
I love it. It's my favorite event of the year. You get to talk to prospects, you get to pick their brain, but more importantly, you can run into anybody. I could run into Mike Tomlin. I could run into Pat Narduzzi. I could run into Mike Vrabel. I could run into anybody the next moment. For example, earlier today I saw Big Dom, if you're an Eagles fan. So you run into him. You can run into Nick Sirianni. You can run into Howie Roseman. You can joke with Howie Roseman about getting hit in the Super Bowl parade. There's so many things you get to know these people on a personal level. So my favorite event of the year. It's different than any other time. And so this is a true privilege to be out here. This is my third year here now, and I always love it.
Well, congratulations, Nick. Thanks so much for joining us. From Pitt to the Point, I'm Pitt sports reporter Grace Lamberto.
Thanks, Grace. The Pittsburgh Passion isn't just any football team, it's the city's only professional women's football team, breaking barriers and growing the women's game and tradition.
Building a legacy of success by winning 3 national championships and coming just one game shy of another title last season, the team continues to make impact both on and off the field. For more on what's ahead for the Passion this season, we turn to our city sports reporter, Katie Pearson. Katie?
Pittsburgh is a sports city through and through with a special emphasis on the game of football. The game is fast-paced, it's physical, and it's exciting for anyone to watch. And within the city of Pittsburgh, we're blessed with not one, but 2 professional football teams. And if you don't know the second one I'm talking about, let me introduce you to the Pittsburgh Passion of the Women's Football Alliance. The Pittsburgh Passion of the Women's Football Alliance, better known as the WFA, has been commanding the gridiron for over 20 years. Co-owner and co-head coach Teresa Kahn discussed the team's accolades and their history.
We were formed in 2002. Our first season was 2003. We have had 3 national championships, undefeated national championships over the years.
Overall, the Passion boasts 3 national championships coming in 2007, 2014, and 2015, as well as 8 division championships. In the 2024 season, the team had 12 WFA All-Americans. Kahn said that the city embraced the Passion when they decided to start in Pittsburgh.
I think back, again, over 20 years ago, it was a little bit different, not knowing what your reception was going to be. We started the team, and Pittsburgh thankfully embraced us because nowadays it's a little more accepted. But we didn't really know what to expect, but we landed in the right city because Pittsburgh's just been great to us.
As the team gained its footing, none other than late Steelers legend Franco Harris offered his support.
Franco was special. I think anybody that ever met him knows how special he was. He was a walking angel. He changed the face of women's football nationally and here within Pittsburgh. He saw the value of what football can teach and sports ball. He supported everything that he felt. People had a passion for him, wanted to help them live their dreams.
According to Kahn, the Passion organization goes deeper than the game of football.
It's so much more in football. It's the sports. It's teaching life lessons through sport. It's about resilience and perseverance and loyalty, integrity. It's going to be sacrifice, integrity, hard work, respect, courage, all those things. And I think we get to practice them every day on the field.
As a homegrown team, Kahn hopes that the Passion represents the city well.
There's a lot of amazing women across the city of Pittsburgh and beyond that, we're homegrown here. The grandparents lived here. The kids go to school here. We're Pittsburghers wanting to represent the city well, and we appreciate your support.
For those interested in learning more about the Passion, visit their website and social media platforms. The Passion will kick off their season on April 26th as they face the Tampa Inferno in Tampa, Florida. For Pitt to the Point, I'm city sports reporter Katie Pearson. Morgan, Teresa.
Thanks, Katie. So after coming so close to another title last season, what can we expect from the Pittsburgh Passion this year as they continue to raise the bar for women's football?
So the Passion, they have that Pittsburgh grit. It's what we like to see. They're going into the season with a chip on their shoulder, but best be known that they are going to give another shot for that national title and make it their 4th.
Thank you, Katie. This year's Pitt Day of Giving was a heartfelt display of generosity, and Pittsburgh is home to a charming nook filled with books and records.
We'll take you inside a spot that's keeping the classic vibes alive, one vinyl and page at a time. When we return on Pitt the Point.
Someone a long time ago had an idea that we could change the way we do things. What if you had over 30,000 big thinkers and believers behind you and $1 billion in research to make it happen? With a will that never quits in a city connected to everything. Well, you'd probably find yourself doing something truly incredible.
Welcome to the Pitt News, the University of Pittsburgh's daily student newspaper. Through the collaboration of our editorial, marketing, and sales departments, we consistently produce award-winning content and provide our students with invaluable professional experience. The success of the Pitt News comes from our students, and we are proud of the legacy we have created for over 100 years.
You have to throw caution to the wind. Know you're capable.
There's possible.
The University of Pittsburgh.
And then there's our kind of possible. The kind that changes the face of medicine, tech, and learning.
It might have been called a miracle.
Because when we say it's possible at Pitt, we mean it. And the proof is in the people. Like Rachel Fairbanks, our top of the class and top of the game athlete of the year, who's serving nothing but excellence. Fulbrights, we're full of them. From BB to Jasmine to the next 250, including 10 in the past year alone.
It's really part of that bolstering of our global reputation.
Possible lives inside everyone at Pitt, from every corner of every campus. Like the McGowan Institute, where they are rethinking, researching, and completely revolutionizing how the body heals through a novel approach to regenerative medicine. All led by visionaries like Dr. Chandan Sen.
You can generate tissue types without using stem cells. And now we know that it's possible. That will completely change the paradigm of healthcare.
Our kind of possible paves the way through selfless action and giving.
We all come together with a shared goal of giving today to transform tomorrow.
Ever see 11,000 Proud fuel this much opportunity in 24 hours? We have, and you're about to see it too, in the progress all around you, as our people continue to bring our vision and our promise to life in newer, bigger, and bolder ways. It's possible at Pitt.
An officer was killed and multiple people were injured in a shooting reported at UPMC Memorial Hospital in York County, Pennsylvania on Saturday afternoon.
The shooter entered the ICU carrying a bag containing a handgun and zip ties and held hostage multiple members of the UPMC staff, shooting three.
While the investigation is still in its early stages, the identified 49-year-old man appeared to have recent contact with the intensive care unit for a medical purpose involving another person, intentionally targeting the workers.
Andrew Duarte, the officer killed in the shooting, will be laid to rest today at 1 p.m. at Living Word Community Church in York Township. Pitt Day of Giving occurred on Tuesday, a day full of fundraising for the Pitt community. These donations give more groundbreaking possibilities to students, faculty, and researchers.
This year's Pitt Day of Giving ended with a total of 11,423 donors and $3,267,537 total donated.
For more on this achievement, we turn to our Pitt Feed reporter, Sabrina Bumsa. Sabrina.
Thank you, Risa and Morgan.
Pitt Day of Giving is a chance for the bigger and smaller organizations to get support for their contributions at Pitt. I spoke with Mia Rodriguez, a business manager for the Ballet Club at Pitt, who has a lot of passion for this event. The club benefited so much from the event last year, and she has great things to say about it.
Pitt Day of Giving is an annual fundraising event where the Pitt community, this includes students, alumni, faculty, they come together to donate to a bunch of different organizations that are on campus, and it helps us fund different events that each organization holds. And it's a one-day campaign with a power hour, which is a fun and interesting aspect to get some friendly competition going.
Pitt Day of Giving set up several donation stations around campus to easily access a way to donate. They even had a variety of food trucks outside the William Pitt Union for celebration, so people around campus have a way to contribute.
I'd say Pitt Day of Giving is definitely our biggest fundraiser of the year. We definitely get the most revenue or donations compared to other events we do, such as bake sales or maybe raffle baskets during show day.
The Ballet Club looks forward to this year as they had a very successful day last year.
We had a really good run last year. We raised nearly $5,000, which is amazing. We put a lot less stress on getting costumes and production props. Pitt Day of Giving has definitely done wonders for us, and last year went really well, so I'm hoping it will be the same this year. The grand total that we make is, in my opinion, just a buildup of small donations. I think it's small donations that add up.
As we know, a little goes a long way for these organizations. And with these activities, like the trivia up at the Peterson Event Center, students and faculty were able to get involved in an interactive way. With the total donated being $3.2 million, I'd say this year's Pitt Day of Giving was a huge success.
I was very fortunate to participate in the trivia where I got to put my name in the raffle, and I also won these socks for doing the question about what the Pitt satellite campuses are. Now, I usually get very nervous doing trivia, but after this, I know that I won't get cold feet. For Pitt to the Point, I'm your Pitt Beat reporter, Sabrina Bonsa. Here's our City Beat reporter, Olivia McDonald.
Thanks, Sabrina. Amazing Books and Records is a store that sells both used and new books and records. Every Thursday at both of the store's locations, you can get a free beer with no purchase necessary. And for every 3 items you buy, you will get a free item of your choice.
Amazing Books and Records is a used book and record store in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We have 2 locations, one at 5858 Forbes Avenue in Squirrel Hill, and the other at 5430 Walnut Street in Shadyside. We've been in business since 2013. We buy books and records just about every day of the week. People bring us to us a box, 2 boxes, 5 boxes at a time. Sometimes they'll call us and say, hey, I've got a house full of books. Someone's died, someone's getting divorced, I have to move. And we'll come out and we'll often buy all the books and records. Sometimes we'll only buy some of the books or records, but we will take them away. Giving out a free beer or spritzer or juice or glass of wine every Thursday and Saturday was basically a marketing idea that I came up with because I really wanted to create a fun atmosphere and give people an extra reason to come out that was just beyond just looking at books and records. This coming Saturday night, again, we have a free beer night and every Saturday night from an hour after sunset at the Squirrel Hill store until midnight, and at Shadyside presently from 6 till 8 o'clock. But this Saturday we're doing something extra special. We're having extra good beer. Often we have pretty prosaic proletarian beer, but this week we're having exceptional beer and we're also having exceptional wine. So our signature deal is that people always get a free record or a free book priced up to $10 with every 3 that they buy. So you buy 3 items, 3 of them are $12, you can get a $10 or less book for free, or if you choose 4 $12 items, let's say, you get the 4th one for $10 off. We love doing what we do. I've got a great team of employees who really know books and music really well. And I like having knowledgeable people, I like having really friendly people, and we just want to be here to help and create a space that people can enjoy being.
This Saturday, March 1st, marks the Squirrel Hill location's 4-year anniversary.
And while you're there browsing for your next purchase, this time you can sip on exceptionally good wine, beer, and sparkling water. For Pitt to the Point, I'm City Beat reporter Olivia McDonald. Morgan, Risa.
All right, Olivia. So let's say you're going into Amazing Books and Records. Are you more likely to purchase a book or a record?
I am definitely more likely to purchase a book. I love reading dystopian novels, so I am super excited for the new Hunger Games book to come out. Morgan, Risa.
So am I, Olivia. Thank you. When we come back, we have lots to say about the one and only Kenny Pickett.
And another one of Pitt's clubs, Camp Kesem, will be featured. All this when we return on Pitt to the Point.
Part of the University of Pittsburgh is the Cathedral of Learning.
There's a lot you can say about this place. Gritty? Well, we prefer tough. Resilient. Innovative, of course. We are part of the city that built the backbone of America, and now we're making it bend and flex in every which way.
Your time at Pitt has also prepared you for what is possible.
But there's one thing you can't deny. When the world needs something, we find a way to give it to them. Whether that's defeating a crippling disease,
Salt's exhausting labor had paid off.
or fighting off the world's next life-threatening illness, we focus our eyes and attention on the ones who need us most, day in and far out.
The Pittsburgh Panthers are the National Collegiate Champions.
So the question we have to deal with is, can we work and build together even when we're different?
All this comes naturally when you've built a foundation on community in a city that feels more like a family at a time when there's basically no other choice. So yeah, there's a lot you can say about this place. But this is what we know. We know that we've earned more than $1 billion in research funding just this year alone. We know that we're breaking ground for more groundbreaking innovation. We know that if you throw a problem our way, we'll do the work to solve it.
You are here, standing, greeted by the end of one journey and the beginning of the next.
We know that it's possible at Pitt.
There is no patent. Could you patent the sun?
Someone a long time ago had an idea that we could change the way we do things. What if you had over 30,000 big thinkers and believers behind you and $1 billion in research to make it happen? With a will that never quits in a city connected to everything. Well, you'd probably find yourself doing something truly incredible.
Coming fresh off of the Super Bowl title, Kenny Pickett is eager to get in some coaching work in the next couple of months.
The former Pitt Panthers quarterback star is returning to his alma mater to coach the 2025 Pitt Spring Games. Our Pitt to the Point Pitt sports reporter, Grace Lamberto, is back to give us the latest on his exciting return. Grace?
Yes, Morgan, Risa, that is right. Pitt football will play in the Blue Gold Spring Game on April 12th. Kickoff will happen at 1 p.m. and the game will take place at Aperture Stadium. Two former Pitt Panthers and current Philadelphia Eagles will be coaching the team. Avante Mattis and Kenny Pickett will be coaching the team, and they'll draft their teams on April 9th. The fans are excited to see how the team has improved in their offseason. To the point, I am Pitt sports reporter Grace Lamberto. Risa, Morgan.
Thank you, Grace. So how do you think the current team feels in having Kenny Pickett as their coach? Do you think there'll be more pressure for the team, or are they just there to perform and currently have a cool experience with the Pitt legend?
I think it could be going both ways. I think they're going to be really glad to have announced Super Bowl champion and someone that a lot of those guys have played with before. Some of the older guys have played with him. So it'll be good for them to get the morale from him and get to learn from someone who's playing in the NFL.
Absolutely. Thanks, Grace. Camp Kesem gives children that have a parent with cancer a free week of summer camp and support year-round through the University of Pittsburgh chapter.
This club at Pitt hosts regular family days and fundraising events to be able to give these opportunities to these families free of cost.
Pitt student Alexandra Charlton joined when she was 12 after her father passed away, and she's now a counselor helping others.
Kesem is a national nonprofit organization that benefits children affected by a parent's cancer diagnosis. The main thing we do here at Pitt is a week-long free-of-cost summer camp for the families where the kids can go and escape their life at home.
I have been a part of Kesem since I was 12 years old. I have had experience with cancer. My dad passed away when I was 12 to lung cancer, and I learned about Kesem when he was in treatment through a cancer support community, and from then on I've been like so involved in Kesem. It's been my life.
It looks like any normal summer camp.
Like doing the messy games, throwing paint and shaving cream and slime at people, and just getting to be a kid.
We don't talk about cancer for a majority of the camp. If the kids want to talk to you about their parents' cancer diagnosis, you're totally welcome, and we're all trained very well to speak about those situations. But we have one day called Empowerment Day that is all dedicated to letting the kids share their story and share their emotions.
Talking to a kid who's like 7 years old, who also is like in the process of losing their father to cancer, it's so hard to like hear that that kid is going through that. But ultimately it feels so good when you know that you can share just like a little bit about like how you can still go on, how you can still be a kid, how you can make it through life and use your Kesem family to get through is just like really rewarding.
The camp is free of cost for the families, and that is done through fundraising throughout the year. Coming up on March 21st, we have our Make the Magic Gala, which is another big push, which is a lot of fun. We have some campers coming in to speak. We have some of our former campers that are volunteers now that are speaking, and we have some live music.
What do you got? Got these bracelets that are hotter than hot. How hot is hot? Batman and Superman can't take the heat.
Kesem is a place where you can meet your forever family who will be there even if you're not at camp. Kesem is just truly magic.
And it's also just opened up a part of my heart that wasn't open before, and it's taught me how to love a lot harder than I did before.
Well, if for some weird reason you miss a segment from Pitt to the Point or miss the show altogether, don't fret, we've got a website for that. The Pitt to the Point website, pittothepoint.com, has all of your favorite stories from politics to sports to entertainment, plus plenty more. On top of that, we also have exclusive articles from your favorite Pitt to the Point personalities. Go check out the website today. Thank you for joining us on Pitt to the Point.
For the next 7 weeks, Pitt to the Point will be coming to you live at the same time.
You can catch a replay of the show on CBS and KDKA TV streaming platform every Saturday at 12 noon, as well as CBS Philadelphia streaming platform at noon on Saturday.
And please go to our social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook. We also have a special shout out.
Wishing a very happy belated 102nd birthday to my great grandma, aka Bubby. We are super happy to share this special moment with you. And with that, thank you for tuning in today.
Until next Friday, I'm Morgan Wolfwell.
And I'm Risa Campbell. We'll see you next week on Pittsburgh Point.